So today I'm going to give you a quick lesson. We're going to call it Concealed Carry 101. I had to put the camera inside the shipping container because it's quite windy and I'm trying to keep it out of the wind. So first of all, concealed carry basics. First thing you have to ask yourself is, could you use a firearm on another human being to defend your life? And you have to ask yourself this serious question, because if the answer is no, and you carry a concealed weapon and you try to deploy it, you very well may have it end up used on you. So first of all, carrying a handgun concealed is not done as an offensive measure. It more is a defensive shield, okay? Because when a violent attack happens, and you can check with any law enforcement on this, but most violent attacks happen in about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Most carjackings go down in under 60 seconds. Most violent robberies go down in less than 60 seconds. So most police officers will tell you that all they can do is show up and take a report. When it comes to actually saving your life, you're the one who's in charge of that. And police do the best they can at responding, but the reality is there's not enough police officers nationwide for the population we have. So a lot of times they get to events after they have happened. So really, there's a couple of things you have to ask yourself seriously. And I will tell you that carrying a concealed handgun it's serious business. I've talked to several lawyers, and basically, whether it comes from a concealed carry or you're doing it to defend yourself in your home or in your car or whatever, but even if you're innocent and the shooting is 100% justified, you're going to spend roughly $100,000 per shot you fire. So it's something to seriously be thought about. So anyway, I'll go over a couple of things that I think are basics that you need to know. I'm not going to go over shooting and accuracy. The first thing I would recommend if you're seriously thinking about getting your concealed carry permit is decide what firearm you're going to use and go become proficient at it. There's a rule of thumb in the concealed carry world, and that is you need to, it's a standard that you're able to deploy your firearm and get shots on target in 2 seconds. And how they came up with this is it's been tested several times, and a grown man with a knife at a full run can cover 21 feet or 7 yards in 2 seconds. So that means that if your attacker is 21 feet away from you and has a knife, if you can't deploy your firearm in 2 seconds and get a shot on target, you're going to end up being a victim. And chances are your gun's going to be used against you. My first strategy with concealed carry is, honestly, I'm going to try to run. I'm going to try to get away. Pride means nothing. And then if I'm forced into a situation where I can't get away, then it's going to turn different. But my goal is to never need it, ever. But I look at it like a seatbelt. I would rather have it and never need it than have one single time I need it and not have it with me. So to me, it's a seatbelt for life. So a couple of things I'm going to show you real quick are things that if you are serious about doing concealed carry, you're going to want to keep these things in mind. I have had my concealed carry permit since 2012. The first 2 years, I did not carry every day. I carried only when I thought I needed it. And my mind changed on that when I watched a show called Gun Talk TV. It's still on the air, I believe. And the host had something really profound to say that really got me thinking. And that is, unless you have been gifted clairvoyance or some type of extrasensory perception to know when the attack is coming, what day you're going to need to take your gun with you, unless you have those powers, you're never going to know that. So the only answer is to have it with you all the time, everywhere you go. And that's pretty much what I've been doing for, roughly the last 6 years. So anyway, this is my concealed carry setup. I carry in the appendix position, and I carry with a round in the chamber. And the reason why is because without putting a round in the chamber, most people, when they draw the gun and chamber that round and go up to get a shot, it puts them at over 3 to 4 to 5 seconds. And you're going to fall out of the standard, which puts your life in serious jeopardy. So I choose to eliminate that from the equation. Am I worried about it going off on me? Not at all. I will tell you this, and I've said this before in another video, there is no such thing as a gun going off by itself. The trigger has to be manipulated in some fashion in order for that firearm to go off. And the reason why I carry the type of holster I do, I made this holster myself. I put it together from 2 different holsters, okay? I carry a Kel-Tec Pf9. It has a 7-shot magazine and 1 in the chamber. It's semi-automatic, and it has a long, stiff, double action pull on the trigger. So I have to give this gun a deliberate 12-pound trigger pull to get a round to go off. And there's a little hammer here that actually has to come back. And so there's no safety on this gun. I am not worried about it going off. I keep it in a leather and Kydex holster. And if you notice, it's custom fit to the gun. In other words, I sent away to a company. This company is called Crossbreed Holsters. I am in no way affiliated with them. I have no endorsement deal with them. I just believe in their product. It's very comfortable. It's very well made. They heat shrink this around the firearm. So it really, once I put this on and it applies pressure to the leather from the back, it locks this gun in really tight. So it can't just come out. And the trigger guard is completely covered. So this trigger can never be snagged on anything to make it go off. And I carry a spare magazine, not because I plan on getting into a large firefight, but I have 9 years experience shooting competitively. And the one thing I've noticed is that when a semi-automatic gun jams, 99% of the time it's caused by the magazine, and the failure happens after the first round. In other words, you shoot your first shot, the gun jams, you cannot get it to unjam because the magazine is messed up. And the only way you're going to get that gun back into action is to put another source of ammunition in it and throw the other one on the ground and then chamber the round and go back to town. This is what's called a tuckable holster. In other words, this bends away, and this is the clip that clips onto my belt. There's only one clip that allows you to tuck your shirt down in there, okay? And what that looks like is this. I'll put it back on, and you can simply tuck your shirt down in and around, and now you have a tucked in shirt. It could be a dress shirt that slightly folds over, but this would be the basic look. The reason why I carry in the appendix position is because I have the most control over this firearm in this position, okay? If I'm carrying it back here and I lean over in a grocery store, somebody can come behind me and pull it. And I can say this as a man, and a lot of you other men can probably confirm this too. Has there ever been one single time in your life where another human being has been able to grab down here and you not know about it? The answer is no. There's not a human on earth that's not going to know when somebody's reaching for their privates. And that is the safest place for this to be. Plus, when I am seated in a car, okay, I can deploy like this, straight to the window. If I'm seated in a car and seatbelted in, I will never be able to get this out without disconnecting the seatbelt, leaning forward, trying to deploy it. And if you have somebody aiming something in at you from the window, you might be on the losing end. So basically, that's the reasons why I do that. Now, I'll show you a couple of different holsters. Okay, this would be an inside the waistband canted holster, okay? It's canted at 15 degrees, and it's designed to be in the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock or even 6 o'clock position, okay? And the reason why it's canted is because it helps to keep the handle of the gun up here instead of being pointed back and sticking out. So that is the position that this holster is designed for. It is also a tuckable holster, okay? It has 2 clips. And same thing, it has a Kydex guard that really locks around the trigger. And I'll show you that my gun fits extremely tight into this holster too. See here it click in place? It's locked in. It's not going anywhere. And if I was to put this on, it would be in this position. And you see how, and yes, I do have some fat love handles. You see how the handle sits out of the way, okay? And I would recommend that if there's ladies out there who want to carry concealed, they make specific concealed carry holsters that are inside of a purse. It's a purse that's with a built-in holster. I've known ladies to carry concealed that will put a loose firearm into their purse. If there's nothing guarding that trigger, something in your purse can get in there and snag it and it can go off. And that would not be a good thing. Safety is always paramount. The second thing I'm going to tell you is when you deploy, you can always draw the gun from your holster as fast as you can. Because as long as you keep your finger out of the trigger guard, you can deploy very quickly, okay? And see how my finger stayed out of the trigger? I'm handling a loaded firearm. Am I worried? No. When you reholster, do it in slow motion, okay? Arm and a holster happen while you're reholstering, okay? And what happens is they allow something to snag the trigger as it's going in. So what I recommend to do is if your gun is not a striker fired gun and it has some type of a hammer, okay, that hammer has to actually come back and out of the gun in order for it to fire. So a trick I learned from a trainer of a concealed carry class that happened to also be in the Special Forces is put your thumb on top of the slide and the hammer and ride that into the holster, because now as I'm pushing this in, I know that if that hammer starts to move at all, I'm going to stop and I'm going to pull the gun back out. I'm not going to force it in and have a discharge, okay? So we draw quickly and we reholster in slow motion. You look directly at your holster the whole time and watch the gun go in, okay? Make sure it's clicked in and you're good to go, okay? Now I'm going to show you, if I can get this on, the same thing with an outside the waistband holster. And you can carry something like this concealed. You can have a big jacket over it. I don't recommend the outside the waistband holsters like this because you're not going to hide the firearm very well. And the whole idea of concealed is you don't want the attackers to know that you're armed, or you might become a target, okay? But the same thing, I can draw as quickly as I want, okay? But I want to reholster and ride the hammer extremely slow until I hear it click in, okay? Now, the way that you break down your draw stroke, which is drawing the firearm, okay? One, you're going to sweep your garment out of the way so you don't get it caught, okay? You're going to put your hand, once again, I'm putting it up onto the top of the slide, and I'm actually grabbing the sight because it's a very small handle, and I'm going to pull up and out. I'm going to get my 3 fingers around it. I'm going to get it up and out to this position. Then I'm going to bring my hands together, and then I'm going to push out to my sights and my target, and then boom, take the shot. Come back in, and this is called compressed ready. After you fire a shot in concealed, you're going to come back to compressed, and then you're going to look around, and you're going to make sure that the attacker you just neutralized doesn't have 1, 2, 3, or 4 friends coming to kill you, okay? Once you see that it's clear, the suspect is neutralized and is no longer moving, then you can reholster. Once again, you're going to do it extremely slowly and focus on what you're doing, okay? just like that. I have my holster on a little loose, so it's not quite responding the way I want. But anyway, if you get the correct holster, it's extremely comfortable. In other words, if I lay down on the couch, I forget this is there, I fall asleep with it on. And make sure that the holster you get, make sure that the leather, I know this sounds gross, but make sure the leather is horse leather, okay? Horse leather does not sweat against the human skin the way other leathers do. So most good quality holsters are going to be made from horse leather. I don't even want to know how they go about that, but remember, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to carrying concealed that you need to think about. And I'll address a couple of questions that some viewers had. The biggest one is, we're about to be new nomads on the road. What type of a gun can we safely bring with us? In the states that have gun restrictions, there's no restriction on semi-automatic handguns. There's not a semi-automatic handgun that you can't take with you, okay? It all comes down to the magazine capacity. I believe there's 10 or 15 states that have a 10-round magazine capacity, and it's a felony to possess a magazine that carries more than that. And I think it's New York and possibly one other state that has a 7-round capacity. So if you want to be safe, the safest gun you can take with you as a nomad anywhere in the country would be a 7-shot pump shotgun or a 6-shot revolver. 6-shot revolver is legal in all states, okay? In the states of Alaska and the states of Arizona, you do not need a concealed carry permit. So all of you that are coming here to camp in the winter in Arizona, you can carry concealed. We have constitutional concealed carry here in Arizona, and they also have it in Alaska. So anyway, there's a lot of moving parts to carrying concealed that you need to keep in mind. One is the potential liability. And what I'm talking about there is, what if you fire a shot at your suspect or your attacker and it misses and hits somebody else? That would be a tragedy. That's where you need accuracy. You need to know that your bullets are going to hit the target that you're shooting at. And that comes with practice and skill. Always remember that shooting is a perishable skill. Every day you're not out there shooting, your skills are going away just a tiny bit. There's a lot that can be done with practicing. For instance, just this concealed carry holster alone, I probably have practiced about 1,000 draws. You need to do it enough to where it becomes muscle memory, because muscle memory is the only thing that's going to work for you when you get into a high stress situation. Competence and memory and all that goes out the window. Muscle memory is what comes back. That's why they train our soldiers the way they do. They train them to do everything with muscle and repetitive brain memory. They have them do it over and over and over and over and over again so many times that when it comes time to do it, they can do it automatically without thinking, without letting fear or anything else get in the way. So keep all that in mind. Like I said, a pump shotgun is probably your best home defense, even in an RV or a van or anything like that. And the one reason why is because a pump shotgun probably instills more fear into a perpetrator than anything else. And believe it or not, it's the sound, the racking of a round. And this was proven over and over again in Afghanistan when the Marines were there. And I believe I read something by a Marine, I don't know, almost 10 years ago. They were going in and doing house clearing, and they were using a shotgun to breach the doors, pump shotgun. And the insurgents, the Taliban that they had captured, said that when they heard that shotgun rack, it scared them more than the planes attacking, more than the bombs. It put the absolute fear of creation into them. And it does that with any other human being. There's not very many humans on Earth that don't know the sound of a pump shotgun. And, deterrent is the best safety of all. It's a deterrent, and the violence never actually happened. So keep that in mind. And with a shotgun, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean what people think. People think that you shoot a shotgun and there's this big spray and you don't have to aim. I'll tell you, at less than 20 feet, even with birdshot, even with no choke in the shotgun, it makes a hole like this. So you still have to aim. Every gun you shoot requires accuracy. And accuracy is built with time and repetitive practice. So my recommendation is you're going to go out and buy a gun to protect yourself with, whether it's concealed carry or just to keep it in your van or your RV. Go shoot 1,000 rounds. Get to know that gun. Get to know it very well. And you know, you'll have a much better time. I'll show you something else interesting. Look at all the holster wear on my gun. This thing has got a tremendous amount of holster wear on it. And I put the little finger attachment on it on my primary magazine just because I have big monkey hands and I like to have a little extra grip. If I take that out of the way, you can see that I only get 2 fingers on it. Okay. Reholster, nice and safe. I never once pointed it at myself or my hands or anything else. Oh, this is another outside the waistband holster. It is designed to be canted like this. So I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so if I was to put this on my belt, it's going to sit canted like this, okay? Now when it's canted, once again, see how that helps to keep it, you know, more concealed, but you're not going to conceal something large like this, you know. It just isn't going to happen. And this actually, so if you want to know, this holster is made by Bianchi, which makes police products. It's a really, really high quality holster. They double the leather so that you can unsnap it that easily. It's a really good quality holster. It's very comfortable to wear. It's got padding on it. Basically, this is what you would call a detective's holster. Okay, this is designed to be worn, you know, primarily like with a business suit or something. So anyway, if you're thinking about concealed carry, get out to the range. Pick the gun that you're going to go with. Get out to the range. If you're looking for what I might recommend as far as firearms, you know, there's so many brands out there that are good. I would say if you're looking for a good quality, inexpensive handgun, regardless of the caliber, that's extremely dependable, would be a Glock. I personally am not a Glock guy. I really don't like striker fired guns. I can shoot them and I can shoot them well, but it's just not my forte. I prefer a gun with a hammer. I like to know what condition that the hammer is in. I don't like, you know, like I said, it all comes down to personal preference, but a Glock is a very good choice. There's a number of other more inexpensive brands. A lot of people hate the Kel-Tec Pf9 that I carry because of its trigger. It's a gun it's difficult to shoot accurately. You have to put the time in. And I haven't really had a serious range day where I've practiced with this for a couple of years, but the last time I practiced, I was at 1.2 seconds on my draw for 2 shots on target, and that was at 21 feet. And I maintained an accuracy of about a 9-inch circle, which center mass will work. And that's the other thing, you know, when you train yourself to shoot concealed, you're going for speed and you're going for center mass accuracy. You know, Hollywood with the, you know, I'm going to shoot you in the arm or leg and all that, it's not going to work. The chances of you even getting a shot. Okay, so that's about the best quick breakdown of concealed carry that I can give you for things to think about. I'll make some other videos detailing about cleaning, and I will make at least one actual shooting video where I will show you some different tricks and tips I have to help improve your accuracy. And then that's pretty much about it. I may make a small video detailing a little more with actual shooting, but the main thing is I really just want to teach a lot of the things that you don't always see in the concealed carry classes. A lot of the concealed carry classes will, they're all about trying to get you taught to where you can go past the written test. Okay. And that's great, but like I said, I see a lot of people come out of concealed carry classes that can't draw from their holster. If you can't deploy your gun in a timely manner, then, you know, you're going to be in the middle of deploying it while the attacker is on you physically. It just, you know, and a lot of those guys, I mean, they're out for it because, you know, they're getting $300-400 a person. You know, they get 20 people in their class. They're looking to teach you everything in one day. Like I said, they're just focused on you going out and passing the test. A lot of states require that you have the concealed carry class. I myself did not have to take a concealed carry class because I shot competitively and I had my range officer certificate. That was enough. That counted as professional training. So, and like I said, I have actually been part of a number of classes that have been taught by guys in special forces, whether it's a class to teach about how to run a handgun, some different things about shooting from concealment, also how to run a carbine, an AR-15, how to run a rifle. You know, in addition to all of my experience in shooting 3-gun and things like that. And I actually have a lot of experience and a lot of things I can teach about shooting an AR-15, but I probably will never put them on the channel because society at large has decided to hate a gun and instead of a behavior committed by criminals, violent criminals, people that, you know, I mean, I don't care if you have no violent action in your life and you go out and do a mass shooting, you're a violent criminal, you know. And I will tell you, another good reason to carry concealed is violent attacks are on the rise. So are mass shootings. In fact, you can be in a church. You can be in the middle of an intersection and find yourself in the middle of a mass shooting, and you may find yourself in a position to take out the gunman. What if you don't have a gun? What if the guy is walking person to person executing them, and you see that you're 5 people away, and if you had a gun, you could stop him, but you decided that you don't want to carry a gun. So, and another thing I will tell you, if there's ladies out there who are doubtful about concealed carry, here's something to think about, okay? There are almost no women who have been through a violent attack or a rape who did not become concealed carry, who did not concealed carry after that all the time. In fact, I've read a number of articles of ladies that went through attacks that once they had been through the attack, they were anti-gun. They never wanted to touch a gun in their life. They immediately went out, bought a gun, took concealed carry classes, got good with it. And there's a few of them who ended up being attacked again and were able to stop the attack. The news does not tell you about this, but every day there's probably 300 to 400 attacks stopped by a concealed carry citizen. These stories are never talked about. You have to dig on the internet to find them, but they're out there. Thousands and thousands and thousands of times a year. Good people are defended with good people carrying concealed weapons. Like I said, the police are going to show up and take a report of what's happened. Don't be a victim. We're all in charge of our own safety. Okay, that's about all I can say. It's, you know, I hope this is helpful. If you like it, you know, like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate everybody who watches. Thank you.